Hello, everybody, and welcome to the CPL's Civ 6 Weekly Podcast. This is number 20, and we have so much stuff to cover. I'm Sarnath, and joining me as always is my co-host, King Louis XIV. And we have two guests with us today. Blade7 is always bringing us the hot information coming off of those dev streams, and Yoshi from Clan Sunzi.
How's it going, guys? Great to be back.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Howdy, howdy.
Man, we had an amazing weekend. We did have to delay the podcast 1 week due to the CCC, the Clan Championship Cup, and we had an amazing turnout. So many players from so many communities came forward. Tons of viewers from all over the world came to support everyone, and it was amazing. We had some great games, and I gotta hand it, Sunzi walked away with the win once again. How does it feel?
It's great as always. Just to know that we're the number one clan again. Hope we can do a three-peat come summertime. That'd be pretty cool. Big thanks to my whole clan, all the members that played, all the members that supported us. It's just and we had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
And without your best player.
Yeah, Steph didn't want to play. He is definitely a great player, but we were able to do it without him. We still have a ton of other great players in our roster, and we pulled through pretty good.
It was a bigger victory than last time, wasn't it?
It was. Last time it was pretty well close between OP and Suns, but this time you guys did quite well.
Did OP have some boy anymore? Did they lose some other players or they didn't play?
I think we'd have to talk to them specifically for that, but I did want to congratulate Sunzi on an excellent job in winning the CCC.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, the remnants of an old clan that no longer exists.
Yeah, the NWA did end up dissolving. They had some internal issues, and a new clan formed in place of that, and they honestly look a whole lot better. They're the TDF?
Yeah.
Dream of Flight?
Dream of Flight.
I have to say I'm pretty excited to see how they do. They're comprised of a lot of the former NWA members, and I have to say, for a new clan, the new kids on the block, so to speak, they did an amazing job, all things considered, across multiple events. I mean, we had a whole bunch of people, names most of us hadn't even seen before, and they were all pushing up to the task, and they were doing a great job. And in the second free-for-all I cast, we had a player playing as China from NWA who just put a dead stop on a push and just flipped everything on its head when it looked like he was on the brink. And that was absolutely fantastic.
Alt Velas?
It was Alftalus, yeah. But to move things right along here, we have so much information to cover. We had 2 weeks worth of dev streams and first looks to look at, and Blade's going to be kicking us off.
All right. First off, we're going to talk about is Robert the Bruce of Scotland. He was introduced to us last week, and he is a new addition to Civ. Scotland hasn't been in any of the games before. I mean, we've seen the Celtics, or the Celts, but now we have actual Scotland. His civilization ability: happy cities receive an additional plus 5% for science, plus 5% on production. Happy cities generate plus 1 great scientist point per turn or per campus, and plus 1 engineering point per industrial zone. Ecstatic cities double all of these amounts. So if your cities are ecstatic, it's now plus 10 science, plus 10% production, and 2 points per district. So that in itself is pretty big. I mean, if he builds industrial zones, he's gonna have more great person points than say like Germany, who always builds them. I don't know if Scotland's going to always build them, but still, I mean, you get double points, just like say what England would.
It'd be nice to see someone compete with Germany for those great engineers, because the engineers usually just walk away with Germany, like they get their cake and eat it too. So it'll
Yeah.
be nice to see some competition there.
Yeah, if they have the same amount of cities and his cities are at least happy, if not ecstatic. I mean, you're looking at one city just having a single industrial zone, if with the ecstatic boost, doing plus 3 points per turn for one city. I mean, that's huge.
Oh wow.
Imagine the Civ getting is it the Coliseum?
Oh yeah,
Oh my god.
you get Colosseum. Pretty much all of your cities are going to be ecstatic, at least until you're suffering a lot of war weariness. But I mean, that's say you build like a 7-city Coliseum. I mean, you have 7 cities, all doing 21 points per turn just for having the districts in each one of them. I mean,
Well, I think the 10% science and 10% production is what's really going to make it.
oh yeah. Yeah. It, say you're doing base 20 science in a city, you get plus 10% of that. I mean, that's an extra 2 free science per city. That's who doesn't want free science and pre-production?
Yeah, I think you're going to see this Civ go tall early on until maybe they get their golf courses, and maybe that's when they'll really shine.
Yeah,
Because their golf courses don't come till was it Reformed Church,
Reformed Church, yes.
so that's what Renaissance era,
Uh,
medieval. I always forget,
medieval, I believe. It's the
but that's
bottom.
still a
But you don't
ways.
really go for Reformed Church. He will to get those golf courses online, and those golf courses now you could only build one per city, and their yields are plus 1 amenity. So I mean, that right there, you're increasing your amenities and making your cities more happy and aesthetic. They get plus 2 gold. They receive plus 1 culture when adjacent to the city center. So I mean, that's really easy to do. So that's a free culture. It gets an additional plus 1 culture if it's also adjacent to an entertainment district. So I mean, this guy screams happiness. I mean, you build Colosseum, you build the Temple of Artemis, and you won't have any problems with amenities. All your cities will have ecstatic very easily. I mean, it is. I would say this Civ in itself is probably the most noob-friendly Civ out there. If you build those 2 wonders, I mean, you build those 2 wonders and you're sitting pretty the entire game. And then his special leader ability is he could declare a war of liberation after gaining the defensive tactics, which normally the War of Liberation does not come until what mobilization, which is very late in the tech tree. So now he gets them at defensive tactics, which is super early. So now if your neighbors say he takes over a city state, you use the liberation and you liberate that city.
The,
And if someone goes after your ally's city, do a liberation war. And when he's declaring that liberation war, he receives 100% production and 2 movement for 10 turns of the war. I mean, now granted, you have to denounce someone, wait 5 turns, and then use like the specific liberation war. So that in itself, to me at least, does not seem very applicable in, say, a multiplayer scenario, because who's gonna let you denounce them and then wait 5 turns?
yep, I was just about to say that they're never. I mean, you can get denounced, but then they're just going to declare war on you, and after like 4 turns or whatever.
Well, I mean,
Definitely a single player functionality out there.
exactly. In a multiplayer game, if this guy's on your team, you're gonna just do what Persia does and counter it by just declaring war. I mean, it's just plain simple. I mean, having to wait that 5 turns on a denouncement just kills that ability in the multiplayer. It's a great function. We just won't ever see it.
It's good in single player against Congo. Congo always seems to be taking civs.
Oh,
Taking other
single player. I mean,
civs
yeah,
in single
that's
player.
a great ability in single player. Now you're taking cities, you're reducing your war wariness, and you're gaining production and movement. You could just steamroll city after city after city, get through one whole civ in say 10, maybe 20 turns, do it all over again the next civ.
Yeah, you guys can finally, be a warmonger without the entire world hating you after turn 20.
Well, I mean, a liberation is still like, what is it, a light warmonger penalty depending on the area you're in. So I mean, you still get penalties. So you do that once, twice or so, and they're still gonna hate you. But hey, it's still something you get for declaring war.
Hey man, it's just not a single player game if you're not denounced on turn 5 by Norway for not having a strong navy on a Pangea.
I mean, it's a Pangea. What do you expect? I'm like landlocked by like 50 tiles. Like, can't expect me to get a navy. But anyway, their unique unit is the Highlander. Now, this is a Ranger replacement, and it is available same as a Ranger on rifling technology. It has a combat strength of 50 with a range strength of 65. But the catch is it's got a range of 2. So unlike the recon unit that it replaces, the Ranger only has a range of 1. This guy's a range of 2, but he also has 3 movement. Plus all his promotions to go through hills and go through woods on 1 movement.
It's pretty
So,
awesome that we're seeing more scout and recon related units that are coming into the play.
Wait, so it's
This
two
guy-
it's
unit
2
too?
range, not 1?
Yeah,
2
it's range 2.
Is it
Oh my
hidden?
God.
It can be if you get the promotion for it.
Yeah, so okay, you have it also has a special ability of getting +5 combat strength when you're in hills or woods. Yeah. So right there off the bat, you're a 70 range strength unit. You get the level 3 promotion with the +20.
The 90. This thing's gonna be killing tanks.
Yeah, you're at
That's
90.
awesome.
You're fucking killing tanks.
Defense bonus. What's the defense bonus you get for being in the woods? Is pretty good,
It's
isn't it?
3. If it's a wooded hill, it's 6.
Yeah,
Yep.
so he's gonna have a 96 plus fortification.
Well, defending he'd be 76, and then with fortification,
When you defend, it goes off of your melee
3,
combat
3.
strength, even if
Oh,
you're hit
right,
by a
right.
ranged unit. But he
Yeah,
can attack tanks and readily kill them. That is
Oh,
terrifying.
easily.
But
And so you get
yeah.
the attack and then the retreat promotion as well, and the invisible one. I mean, these guys are gonna just wreak havoc. I'm gonna love to get my scouts up to level 3 and level 4 with this, and just it's a OP version of a field cannon, basically. Take out tanks. I'm gonna love this unit.
Is it colonialism? The civic that kills off the card for what's that card that gives double experience?
Now that card has been changed.
Oh, okay.
It instead of double experience for recon units, it is now double experience for exploring. So you get double experience for picking up goodie huts,
Oh, that's
for
a
finding
nerf.
world wonders, for clearing out barb huts. You no longer get double experience from combat.
Uh,
So
yeah, no, I
getting
was just imagining like taking these Highlanders, go into a city state, getting them to like level 3, and having
yes.
it's
I mean, you could
crazy army.
still do that, but it's going to take you twice as long because you're not going to have the double experience
Yeah,
from combat.
still can be done, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because I'm going to build scouts just like with why do I keep wanting to call it the Shoshone Pathfinder? The Kree, the Kree Scout. I mean, that's probably one reason why they changed that card, because the Kree Scout is gonna get an experience from that as well, and with this guy, So I mean, still, I'm gonna build scouts. I'm mass produce them as soon as I get rifling tech and just upgrade them.
So, never mind.
What?
No, I was just looking at the scouts. The scouts look interesting.
Yeah,
We
I
could
can't
talk
pronounce
about
that
that
word.
another
I'm not
time.
gonna try. Anyway, so that is Robert of Scotland. So I'm really happy to play him. Like he's gonna be amazing on amenities. He's gonna be amazing on science. He's gonna be amazing on great people with a really kick-ass unit that I'm gonna enjoy using. So plus I love golf. So building golf courses is awesome. And that free culture. So I'm really excited for Scotland here. And then now we had a new Civ released this week, which is I I'm not gonna be able to pronounce this name. Uh, the Taro of Mapuche, maybe I guess. Anyway, his civilization ability is Toki, I believe. Again, I'm bad at pronouncing words. All units trained in cities with an established governor gain an additional 25% experience in combat. And you have plus 10 combat strength when you're fighting civs who are in a golden age. So if your neighbor plops in a golden age and is looking to kill you, I mean, you have plus 10 combat strength. I mean, that's huge.
So wait, if you play this guy, they go Golden Age, you Dark Age yourself, slot the +5 combat card, and you're just gonna go smack him around for a while.
No, because that card makes your units not be able to heal outside your borders.
That's fine.
So if he's gonna come after you, yeah, you'll have like plus 20 defense strength.
But even if you attack him, it's +15. You only need a difference of 30 to one-shot a unit. That's incredible.
But I wouldn't use that +5 card outside your lands. That would be dangerous. It's like not having iron on your swords. But it still could be done.
Yeah, I
If
don't
you
think
have,
you're going to want to go into Dark Age unless you're defending, for the most part.
I'm gonna want to go into at least 2 Dark Ages. I know that.
What's the benefit again? Like the guy goes Golden
The-
Age, what's he getting? What's the benefit that he's getting?
When an enemy goes Golden Age, you get plus 10 combat
Golden
strength
Age,
against
right?
Yeah.
What's
Civ.
he getting?
You mean what do you as a player get for going into a Golden Age?
you
You
get
get
a
these.
Golden Age dedication, which we've gone over all of those already. There's
I think his ability, the leader ability, is what's going to make him really good, right? So if a unit defeats an enemy unit within the borders,
Yeah.
that city, then that city loses 20 loyalty.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I was just gonna go into that. So his ability, again, like Yoshi said, you lose 20 loyalty for killing a unit within an enemy city's borders. I mean, you kill 5 units, and that city goes independent automatically. Because I mean, you
Mhm.
lose. You have 100% or a factor of 100 on loyalty. You kill 5 units. That's 20 times 5. That's 100.
So you
you're-
could flip a city if they ever try to defend it. I see this guy getting vote banned a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you're gonna defend? Well, all your cities are now independent.
You know. And what they said, independent cities are automatically always at war with every player. So just exactly like Barbs, but they have a city basically, and they will defend their own land.
So advanced barbs, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So you attack
That's
an
awesome.
enemy, you kill their units, you flip their city independent, you now conquer the independent city, and now the Civ won't hate you because you took over an independent city and not their city. Yeah.
So we basically have Scythia 2.0 for the cheese factor.
Yeah, pretty much. Or you could completely win a domination victory without ever going to war. Pretty much you just keep flipping over cities with loyalty pressure, and you could win domination that way without actually conquering anybody.
How long will it take to convert that city, though? I feel like it might take
It,
quite a
it,
while.
it all depends on pressure. So you get loyalty pressure from your population,
Yeah.
you get loyalty pressure from your governors, you get loyalty pressure from any policy cards, from garrisoned units in your
Do we know
cities.
like the exact numbers yet? And like, what if an enemy civ was exerting similar, pressure? Like, how much would it require you to convert that city?
I mean, it's all a factor of 100. So
Yeah,
if I am exerting like 10 loyalty pressure on this city, and
yeah.
that city is losing 10 loyalty per turn, I'll conquer that city in 10 turns.
Mm-hmm.
But if, say, you're doing 11, I'm doing 10, and that city is losing, say, 10 loyalty per turn, it's gonna fight between me and you on who gets it once it flips independent. So it'll flip independent because he's now losing loyalty.
Yeah.
But now that it's independent, there's pretty much only a difference between you and me, and so it's
So
gonna
with that
take a
100
long
turns.
time to flip.
So, question of the day. Let's say we're all getting ready to flip this city. We're all pretty darn close in loyalty points here, and it's trying to flip. Is it slowly going to do a tug of war toward one of us, whoever has that 1 or 2 points over? Or when it's ready to flip, is it going to flip to the person who has the highest slot if it's tied? Or close to a tie, like how we see with great people?
Now that we do not know exactly for sure, but I mean, if whoever has the most pressure per turn is gonna get the city eventually. I don't know about if it's exactly. I think it. This is my assumption here. If you are exactly tied, it's not gonna do anything. But if, say, they're losing 20 loyalty per turn, and I'm gaining 10 loyalty per turn on that city, and you're gaining 10 loyalty on that city, I don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm just wondering, is it gonna have to get to 100? Like, say you need 100 loyalty for that city to flip to you, so that you own it, or will it be like 50? Once you get past 50, maybe it'll flip. I don't know. Like if you go past half, right? Well, do you think it'll flip to you? And then will you, like when that city flips? Do you get full loyalty? I haven't really been looking into that.
Now, apparently, what Blade said earlier, everything starts at 50.
Okay.
50 is the starting point. So I would assume once you reach 50, the city will flip to you. But if various powers are exerting similar influence on it, how is it going to pull that rope? Who's getting the bigger tug here? Like exactly
You
how
have to
does
get
that
it
happen?
all the way down from 100 down to 0 to flip.
Right, then it'll flip independent. We're saying after it
Yes.
flips independent, if you were to strictly get the city through loyalty pressure.
It goes up to 100 loyalty if you convert it peacefully through pressure.
So
It
the
goes
first
to
player to the 100 pressure will win the city.
Yes.
Do you see on the city? Can
If
you
you
look
take
in
it
it and
over,
see?
yes, you can. It's just a lens. If
It'll
you
say
take it
like 10 for.
militarily, it starts at 50%.
Okay.
If I look, it'll say Sarnath has 20 points and I have 15 towards the city, and I know I'm behind by 5.
Think of the loyalty pressure as like
It's,
religious pressure on your
it's
city.
just like the religious lens, Louis, except
It's
it's
exactly
loyalty.
like that. Honestly, I don't think there's any difference on that aspect of it, of the pressure. I mean, pressure fades as you get further away, but pressure builds as you are getting closer to many cities.
Mm-hmm.
And it
It's going to put the
counts.
turns
It will,
turns
yes.
from converting.
It will. Um, and nearby population is one of the biggest factors. So if the population indicator, at most it could gain 20 points per turn for population, or at most it could lose 20 per turn. So it goes from negative 20 all the way up to plus 20. And that all depends on, say I have like 4 cities all at 10 pop around there. You only have 1 city that's at pop 5. Of course, I have more people near that city than you do, so I'm getting more loyalty pressure per turn because
You know,
my house.
I'm thinking that the intenting, why this system was put into place the way it was, is I think they're trying to. I don't want to say force because it's a little strong, but we'll go with encourage. But I think they're trying to encourage players to have their own little regions to themselves instead of just filling the map out like in previous Civ games. And that's been an issue for many, many, many Civ games, except for I want to say 4, where you couldn't have more than a couple cities. But I think I like the system's concept, but I do think it's going to end up falling short for one exploit or another because there's so many new things coming into play that there's just no telling what players are going to come up with.
I'm
Yeah, I
thinking
agree.
it's going to be.
This is the old infinite city sprawl mechanism being hamstrung just a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely going to affect any strategy around forward settling. I mean, yeah, you could probably forward settle and use your general rule A to go kill a city, but you have to back it up. And you back that up with like a garrison unit, you back it up with policy cards, you back it up with your areas you're in, and of course, governors. If you don't have positive loyalty pressure on a city and you just let it sit there and don't do anything about it, it's going to flip back independent and go back to the other people.
Like,
So
I think any
add-
attempt to forward settle a civ like Rome, or any player that builds a monument right away, I think forward settling is just going to fall flat on its face because that monument's exerting loyalty pressure as well.
Right,
I think it'll be cool
monument
when
gets +2 loyalty per turn, and it gets +1 culture if you're not at 100%. So if you are at 100%, it's also +2. So I mean, everybody's gonna have monuments basically.
I think forward settling is going to be far too risky because you're probably going to lose the city before you can really make good use of it.
it'll be cool when 2 players try to settle a neutral area, and then they have their early battles with little cities for loyalty.
Well, you can add one more thing you're going to have to monitor every turn, and that's the loyalty lens.
Yep.
Definitely.
Well, good thing is you have that big red fist over your city center if your city is gonna be losing loyalty. So that's one big indicator that you don't have to actually check a lens for.
I really do like that they're reusing the religious lens for the loyalty system because making the change for the religious lens made things a lot clearer. It was really straightforward. It had tons of details for what you needed to know because before we had no idea how the hell it worked. We just knew it did. And with the loyalty lens being used off of the same framework, the same skeletal structure, so to speak, I think it's going to be a really solid and well flushed out ideal. And I'm really wondering if not only was the religious lens, but the religious system changes that have been going on throughout the DLCs. I think those have just been tests for concepts that will be used by the loyalty system, if not more advanced ones.
Yeah, and religion came out in the last patch. I thought at the time that was a precursor to something, and it turns out it was.
That could be a strategy too. If you're worried about losing religiously, you let 1 or 2 of your cities go away, and then those aren't counted in the religious ones that have already been converted. Just let them turn, and then you don't have as bad a ratio anymore.
The one
You're
big thing
shooting
I'm
yourself
worried
in the
about.
foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't
no,
really have to worry about
I'm
that.
worried that it's going to be like religion, and you know how you just want to convert passively, and that can sometimes take forever. You look at the religious lens, and it's like 200 turns to convert that city passively, and I'm worried that loyalty might be the same. That's my biggest
Yes,
concern.
but just like with missionaries, you could expedite the growth of loyalty by using a spy mission, by using the bread and butter amenity project in your entertainment centers. You could put governors there, you could put policies there. So, I mean, there are other factors that you could do to help speed up that process of passively flipping cities.
The
Yeah, but
problem is going to come down to the investment required to make it happen. I mean, it'll definitely benefit players that are like looking at their lane, like, okay, I can just sit back, defend, go for research labs, or just go straight for universities, whatever they decide. Or like, because I have really good mountain adjacencies, I could really just tech up and defend real well, and they could invest into that passive loyalty spread to really hard flip anyone that tries to aggress them. But otherwise, in like 90% of the situations, I'm worried. I see what Yoshi's saying, and I'm worried that we're never going to see it used because raw domination, warmongering is going to take the charge once again, and I'm hoping we see some deviation from that.
Well, I mean, in all the streams that we've seen so far, I mean, cities do flip, and you can steamroll a city, a civ, and if you can't hold on to them or at least keep your forward momentum going, it will eventually hurt your loyalty, and you're gonna
And they're
have to supplement your loyalty with, say, more amenities, with wonders, with all your what do you call them, governors. I mean, you're gonna have to go hand in hand. If you're going to go militarily, you also need to back that up with
can your
securing your
capital
loyalty.
get flipped too?
Yes, it can. You can
Then you're
completely destroy a civ by pure loyalty pressure alone and get a domination victory without actually going to war. Because the funny thing is, if you have great loyalty, you go to, like, you flip a city. You're now at war with that independent city, so you can now conquer that independent city militarily, but you're still not at war with its parent city that it came from. And so you just keep doing that. You flip it neutral, you kill it. You flip it neutral, kill it. And you eventually do that, which is what they did on the live stream from today. Brazil was sandwiched in between. Um, who were they playing as? They were playing as Scotland. And Brazil was sandwiched in between Scotland and France. And so Brazil had just major loyalty problems in all three cities, and it was going to flip to France in like 5 turns or so. And so they marched the military in and captured the independent city, and uh, and so they gained the city instead of France. But loyalty pressure is going to be a factor if you settle close to people. So I'm hoping, like, for the single players out there, we're not going to see the AI just try to forward settle you like they always do, and you got like a nice little cluster of 8 cities, and there's one little settable tile between them. They got to put it right there. I hope they stop that.
I think the expansion will change the game for duels as much as it does for free for alls.
Yes.
The entire thing is going to change for duels and for any game. You always ask that question. I mean, it's not going to not change duels.
As much as the free for alls, it'll like I don't know how they're going to do emergencies for duels. I think we're not sure about that, right?
It's going to be the same. I mean, if I like make this one emergency happen, I mean, obviously you're not going to get like the domination emergency for taking in capital, because you do that and the game's over. But if you convert a holy city, you're going to get an emergency, and the other guy is going to either accept it or deny it. You're not going to be able to get the backstab emergency, because, or actually, I guess you can, uh, because if we were friends and it's a duel, then you break the friendship and go to war, then that would be considered possibly the trigger for backstab. But I mean, you're not really going to declare friends in a duel on multiplayer, so that probably will not happen. So
That has to change because you can't currently break a friendship until the time run until like a certain
That'll
time.
change in Rise and Fall.
Yes.
No longer will friendships guarantee your safety for so many turns. So, for all you players out there that abuse that to take advantage of newer players, you're going to be in for a world of hurt.
So, is there anything more about Mapuche Blade?
Their unique unit we have not talked about yet. What is it?
The Malon Raider.
The Malone Raider. Its unique ability has +4 combat when fighting within 4 tiles of friendly territory. I mean, that again, you could use this with forward settling. If this guy is near, say, Scotland, so it'll kind of like, okay, like, yeah, you could kill my units, my borders, but now I almost have a free general just for being near my land. So it could counter
So
out.
I have a question. When the city flips, when it becomes an independent city, does it spawn units?
Yes.
So when you kill those units, that city loses 20 loyalty? An
Uh,
independent city? Do we
yes.
know?
But it will lose loyalty and it will expedite whoever has the higher loyalty pressure.
Yeah, but if you're forward settling and then you killed like 5 of the enemy civs units, becomes an independent city, and then you kill more of those units, I think the civ could be really snowbally, right?
Oh yeah, of course it can.
Yeah, with its plus with like the Malone Raider and its
Oh,
plus 4
no.
combat.
Malone Raider is for Mapoche. The
Oh yeah, my poetry. My bad. What are we looking at? Which civ?
we were looking at Mapoche right now in their UU. Scotland is the one that has the loyalty bomb.
Wait, what's his leader ability?
Leader
Mapochi.
ability, if Mapoche's unit. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I am.
confusing me.
I'm confusing myself here. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, he just
So
snowballs by killing units.
yeah, he has +4 strength if you're within friendly territory. So you forward settle, you
Kill
have
5 units.
kill 5 units. You practically have a free general. If you are using the general rule A, I mean that's a +9 difference now. So I mean, yeah, it's
Well, you're not gonna use the general rule for that area unit.
oh right, never mind.
You'll have the general with you.
You'll have an
So you
actual
get
general, yes.
plus 9 combat strength.
I hear the general gives really good car insurance.
Do we know what type of unit? Is it a like a heavy cav or a light cav unit?
That I am not sure.
Because if it's a heavy cav, right, that's plus 10 against fortified units, or
I don't
plus was it
I don't
7
I didn't
defending
see
against
anything
range?
that said what it is. What tech or promotion tree it has. But yeah, it has a 55 combat strength with 5 movement. I think they said that it replaces Cav. If I'm
It's a weaker cav then.
yeah, so I don't know if it's probably somewhat
I
inferior.
wonder if cavalry units in general are getting a combat strength nerf then.
That I mean, it's a possibility.
I feel like with pike and shot, it's already
Oh, with pike and shot, yeah,
not worth it.
that's
Cav
it
meta's
has to be
dead.
the same.
Pike and shot have destroyed the cav meta.
Oh, I think it's going to be a field cannon meta. We're going to see
Yep.
that definitely. You get field cannons with a great general.
Field cannon with
That's not the meta.
Rangers.
Nubia is the meta.
So, and we also know what our 9th leader is now. So all the civs, or we know what the 9th one is, but it hasn't been officially announced yet.
But don't leave us in suspense. What is it?
The Zulu.
Oh yes, highly
That's
anticipated.
excellent.
We have the Zulu here. They have a unique encampment. We know this because we saw one of the streams and it had the description of their unique encampment, which is the Ikanda, I believe. It's a district unique to the Zulu, which replaces the encampment. It provides +1 housing. Once the civic or technology prerequisite is met, corps and armies can be built outright faster corps and army creations. So once you have the tech or the civic for
Gotta build up those districts, though.
Well, I
And the
think this is a really
Ikanda was the
strong.
same thing it had in Civ 5, only it replaced the barracks there.
right,
Yes,
this is
but
now an encampment.
yes, but this time, but you gotta remember, you can't make a corps or an army unless you have an armory built there.
No,
So,
this you can, because it's the unique district. You don't need the armory.
well, if you're gonna make the encampment, you should make it anyway. It's so much
Oh.
bonus production.
Oh, of course, yes. So the what is that building called? The armory is going to reduce it because it reduces the creation of armies and everything. But it's the unique ability on this district itself is going to reduce that further, which is awesome.
So we could see as a late game Zulu player crunching out corps and armies very, very quickly. I know in some really high production cities you can I'm not saying knights when you're already about to hit tanks, but like you can get helicopter corps and armies out in a good 12 turns in some cities. And we might
if
see
you're
Zulu
used to-
doing that in 8.
But you're gonna see tank corps and tank armies, and then the player is just gonna upgrade them to tank corps.
Yeah, see,
and,
you'll mass produce
mass
freaking
produce the earlier
Knight.
unit.
knight armies,
You can already one turn that though. It's
not knight armies.
in most late game cities you will be. I mean, maybe not for Zulu, since they're probably not going to build all of the encampment structures alongside it. But
I think the biggest thing we could take from this is that since it replaces the encampment, it's probably going to be half off, a half
Right.
off encampment district, and it gives +1 housing. I think that's
Oh.
the biggest thing to.
wow,
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they invent for their UU.
For their UU and
well, in the past they had a scout type unit. They've had the mounted warrior. They've had cause Zulu has been in every single Civ game, I think.
Yeah. I think in Civ 3 it was basically a fast-moving warrior strength unit.
Thought in Civ 3 it was the mounted warrior.
Now, I remember them running around with the shield and spear in their hand.
Maybe not the javelin throwers.
the Civ 5 ability. Melee units cost 50% maintenance. All units require 25% less experience to get the next promotion. So I mean, they could have something like that. They had the MP, which replaces pikemen. So we could see the MP again here, and with anti-cav getting a production card now, which is awesome, and maybe the MP replacing the pikemen, we'll see better anti-cavs from this guy.
And I'm very excited to see all the new developments that are coming out, and I really want to see. Are we even gonna have a first look for Zulu, or is that gonna be like the hidden surprise, so to speak, for
I'm
Rise
pretty
and
sure we're
Fall?
gonna see it on Tuesday.
Because it's gonna be kind of make it or break it. Because the 8th is Thursday, so
Yeah, we'll see it Tuesday. We will probably see the patch notes drop on Wednesday probably, and then we'll all see the games on our hands on Thursday,
We know the exact time on Thursday when they was released.
midnight. It's always midnight. As soon as the clock
yep,
strikes.
0-100 hours.
PM on the 7th then.
Yeah, see, I don't know if it's going to be released like local time.
I think it's gonna be at 000, 0-100 hours Pacific or whatever, and it's gonna be whatever the equivalent of that is across all time zones. because this is how
Yeah,
they've
there
done
was-
things in the past as well.
Sometimes we weren't even first. There was one game I think where they released it like in Australia first. Like
Now there was a
So-
Twitter post recently saying it's a one-time universal. Everyone gets it at the same moment.
Yeah, so
then maybe it's the 7th here. Is it the 8th in Australia then, or the 8th where?
Well, I remember when the game launched, it came out at midnight Eastern time. So I was able to get it on like the night before at like 9 p.m. because Pacific.
Well, either
What's the
way,
world
regardless of
record?
what day it is in your side of the world, everyone's going to get the game at the exact same time.
Right, but being how it was 9 p.m. for me, I was still able to play it for like 4 hours before I went to bed.
Before I think when the game launched, it was actually like 3 different days it launched, if I remember correctly. Earlier, and then one day later in Europe or something, or I could be. I'm not positive about that.
So we have a couple new policy cards here that got snuck in that we found. I mentioned the survey card. Recon units only get 100% experience from exploration. Feudal contract, you have 50% production towards melee ranged and now including anti-cav. So that is pretty big. We've gone over that one. Gone over that one and that one. Colonial offices, plus 15% growth and 3 loyalty per turn for cities not on your original continent's capital, or your capital's continent. So again, you put this on with dockyards out on foreign continents, and you'll be pretty good on loyalty.
Speaking of dockyards and loyalty, how about England's change to their royal dockyards?
I'm got mixed feelings about that. I mean, those trade routes you got from the double trade routes were just amazing, and you're able to get like 4 production extra, a couple food for traders because you had double. And
Yeah.
now they took that away and gave them plus 4 loyalty.
I mean, even if England doesn't try to span the globe with, the sun never setting on the English Empire, even just sticking back at home on a normal Pangea map, any dockyards that they do manage to drop is going to make it nigh impossible to flip their cities for loyalty. So I like the change in light of the new concepts and functions coming to the game.
It only applies on foreign continents.
Oh, that's fine. It just depends where the continent lines draw.
Yeah, if your entire empire is plopped in on your home continent, then it's not going to do you any good. But if you're right on the continent divide and you have your capital at one, all your cities on the other, you'll be sitting pretty.
That'd be hilarious. You'd so many free melee units.
Yep. We have a new natural wonder that we found. It's the what is it? Zhangyi.
The Zhangyi River? I know
No,
there's
not
a
the
river.
It's like a mountain. It's like this. That's the Zhangyi. This is the Zhangyi with a Y. Danzika. Danzia. Whatever.
I feel like you're messing that name up so badly.
Yeah, I am. I know.
So did you
Anyway.
find this on Reddit or a stream, or did you buy it in a butcher shop? Because you're cutting it up pretty bad.
Yeah, I am. Good one. It provides +2 great general points and 2 great merchant points if you own 1 tile of this mountain.
Wow! That's pretty awesome early on.
Yeah. I mean, if it spawns within your land.
Both of those +2 merchant and +2 great general.
Yes. I am not sure if it's one or all, or if it's per tile you own. So that would be interesting to find out.
The wording of it makes it sound like you only get the bonus once for owning a tile of it.
Right. So, but that kind of sucks. I think it would be a lot stronger if it was per tile, because that thing looks like a 4-tile, or maybe even just probably a 4-tile wonder.
Wow. So it's like the Pantanal?
The picture, actually, the picture looks like it might be 3 with 2 regular mountains on the other side of it.
Everest is the 4-tile one, I think, right?
Everest is 3. There's
Everest
only
looks like it should be 4. It's almost always connected to another mountain.
Not the snowflake, the pre-done map. There's always that one place where you get the super holy site because it's like a 4-tile wonder and you're getting double.
The only 4-tile wonder is Pantanal. Everything else is 3s, 2s, and 1s.
Then what about that new marsh one? The Sooner Hollow. Is that a 4-tile one?
Oh, up Sooner Hollow. Yeah, that is probably a 4-1 like Pantanal.
So does
It
it
appears as a
appear?
marsh, which means like any like movement penalties or defense penalties is a marsh. It provides +1 production, +1 food, and +2 faith.
So when it says appears as a marsh, it's not really a marsh, right?
No,
Like if you had
you can't
Lady of the
remove it.
Reeds and Marsh Pantheon, you're not going to get an extra
No.
production on it.
That would be pretty sick.
No, because
wish-
Pantanal appears as a marsh and it does not count as Lady of the Reeds.
Yeah, but some of the mountains, they're actually mountains, right? Some of
That is
the
not mountains. That's like forest.
no, but like Mount Everest, you can put an aqueduct connecting to
True,
Everest.
yes,
I think.
because it's
Well, this is specifically not counting as a marsh like the Pantanal because it would make Lady of Reeds and Marshes way
would
too
be
strong for that city. Because if you ever look at the Pantanal on maps, it almost always has more floodplains or marshes attached to it somewhere. Like, it affects its region, not just its tiles.
right. And then we have the Delicate Arch that we haven't gone over yet. Obviously, it's impassable. It provides +1 gold and +2 faith for all adjacent tiles. It seems like it's a 2-tile wonder. So you're looking
What are we
at
talking about?
the Delicate Arch.
Yeah, it's fragile. Must be Italian.
So you have that. What else is there? We've gone over the Eye of Sahara. We've gone over the Pink Lake, like Retba. Now actual man-made wonders. They highlighted this, and I think the stream from last week. But when you build a wonder, and your neighbor over here beats you to it, you now get your production salvaged. So
Since he's all of it, you mean you don't only get half or something, or
I believe it's all of it, because the snap that we took, they lost out in building Petra, and they got 129 production returned to their city for salvaging the wonder.
Whoa.
what's it now? It's like gold. You get a little gold or something.
Now it's absolutely nothing.
Oh, that's
Step
like
5
nothing.
was gold. You would get gold in return. It'd be like 129 gold.
Or was gold too? I think. Yeah, you got
Do
something.
you get full production back?
I don't know about full production. I just know what I'm looking at from this screenshot.
So if you had the policy card for extra production to a wonder, do you get that extra production? I'm wondering. Is there a possible strategy where you maybe in a team game, you and your teammate, one person's going to finish a wonder, you start building that wonder that he's going to finish. You start racking up all this production, and then the turn before he finishes, you switch over to a policy card like maneuver, and then you just churn out horsemen for like 15, 20 turns, and then you upgrade them to calves, and then you have like crazy amount of
maybe
calves
on a
and crazy
team
amount of
game
production.
where you can actually plan that out.
Yeah.
Because you could be using, I forget the card. What's that ancient classical card that gives you extra production towards wonders? You could
I
be
don't
putting
know
that.
the name, but I know what you're talking about.
You could put that
Corvée,
card.
I think?
Corvette.
Corvee, Corvette.
Yeah. You put that card on, and now you're pumping in more production than you're actually getting. And then when he completes, like say your partner's building Coliseum,
Mm-hmm.
and you build Coliseum as well, you're using the Corvée card. You're producing an extra 50% production towards that. And then so now instead of producing say like 100 production, you now
Yep.
put in like 150. And then if you take say like maneuver card and you get an extra, what is that, 150, 40 production on top of it to like 190 to do horses. But I mean, you're sitting there wasting time building a wonder that you're not going to actually finish.
I don't know. I don't think it'll work out. I think it's going to be a one and done with the rewarded production.
The production carries over.
It does, yeah.
Yes, but they could limit that specifically because it's a new functionality.
Could be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just imagine you flip over to autocracy as well, so you get 10% bonus plus the 15% bonus, 5% bonus on wonder production, and then you get all that back, and then you switch over to like maneuver or it's a goge, and you start churning out archers or warriors or horsemen, heavy chariots for some kind of early push.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a viable team strategy. I don't see this being practical in an FFA, simply because by sheer dumb luck, you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to plan out your wonder builds with an enemy you don't see that's building a wonder. So it could be production stacking on a team game, which would be interesting.
Yep. Oh, and then chops, with the
Oh, and then you
governor
add
that
in
gives up
chops the fucking governor on it. It's
So I mean,
or
that could be
actually,
amazing.
you add in chops for the wonder with
Yeah.
the Magnus governor,
Yeah.
with the Corvair card, and then you just need to make sure the other guy finishes it before you do, so you're only wasting a couple of turns, and then you use like a maneuver card to get all that production back towards horses or whatever. So I mean,
It's definitely something that'll need to get tested
oh,
once
for
the
sure,
game comes
we'll
out.
be testing that out.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be looking into that. It's so potentially abusive that it's almost worthy of labeling an exploit.
Yeah, I know a few people on the Civ Fanatics forums that are definitely going to be testing that.
Oh,
when it
definitely.
comes out. Should be a lot of fun. I think that's my favorite part about this new expansion. There's going to be all these new mechanics, all these new things, and it's almost going to feel like a new game.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the nuances that you have to learn.
I'm really
You're gonna
looking
have to
forward
relearn
to
the
it.
game.
I know
Oh my.
I know Tom Raider and I are going to be getting together and doing our weekly games again and getting those posted up. I know I'm going to be streaming a ton of the new expansion as soon as it hits.
So what
So
else is going to be new? The ADCP. Well,
So
everything relates back to the
so when
ADCP.
you're
for me.
launching the ADVCP, King Louis.
or as Canuck refers to it as the alphabet, apparently.
Yeah. You know,
Probably March, if we. That's still what the plan is.
sounds
A
great.
huge Grand Slam tournament. 32 people to do a nice draw for us.
There's been a whole lot of
2
interest of
people,
it, I do
thumbs
have
up,
to
so
say.
that's pretty good. 62 thumbs up is more than I thought we would get for interest.
Well, a lot of people are interested in some tournament stylings like that, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how
you
things
said you were
turn
talking
out.
to, right? Was it DI, or which is the community
No.
you're talking to that was interested in this tournament style kind of thing?
Oh, it wasn't the community as a whole, but there were some members of Overdose Gaming that was interested. They still haven't fully emerged from the Civ 5 turtle shell, but they're getting there.
I have a question. So the Hawacha, right? That replaces the field cannons for Korea.
Yep.
And even
Field
though it
cannons,
says it
no.
cannot move and attack on the same turn, If you apply it with a Great General, do you think it'll be able to attack? Is that a
Nope,
bug, do you
because
think?
it's
Is that-
limited to. It's just like
Well, it could be
Bombards
like
and
the
artillery
catapult
and
or the
catapults?
bombard, because the bombard has 2 movement. It requires 2 movement to shoot, and
Yeah.
if you're bringing on a general, you move it once, you can still shoot.
You can, but the weird thing about that, like catapults, bombards, artillery, and all that stuff, you can actually move it 2 units and still attack if you
Yeah, and
have a Great General.
and the Hawacha is a normal unit that has to stop and shoot the next turn.
But if it's like the catapult and the artillery and the bombard, it will actually be able to move two out of its 3 movement and still attack because for some reason, with the Great General movement, it allows it to attack still. And I'm just wondering, do you think that'll be the same with the Wacha?
I mean, that change with the Great General
Yeah.
was specifically inputted into the game. They made that change for bombards and everything.
Yeah,
I'm
but
pretty
it
sure it
did.
was supposed to just be like, hey, you move it once, you still have 2 movement. It's got to need 2 movement to shoot. I don't know if it's going to work with the Hawacha.
No,
It's
but
something you're going to
I've
have to
seen it.
test.
I've seen instances where you can move
Twice, yes, I know.
twice and then still shoot.
Yeah, I think the intention was 1 movement, not 2 movements and have 1 movement left and
Yeah,
shoot.
I'm thinking Korea is still going to be extremely strong, even though their campus replacement got nerfed a little bit since the initial teaser.
Yeah,
I think
to
they're
be
still
fair,
gonna
it
be
was a
really
little too overpowered.
definitely.
but I
I
like
mean,
Civ
if
5 Korea.
it
And
replaces the
this one,
campus district, so it's going to be half off, right?
Yep.
So you're going to see like these crazy early campuses get placed down.
If it only
And-
takes 2 turns to build it, why the hell not?
Yep.
Could you imagine if they got City Patron Goddess for a Pantheon? They'll be 1-turning campuses.
I don't think you're going to need that with this.
Probably
If you're gonna
not,
go for
but
an
I'm
early
just.
campus.
well,
But
you
for the
could
sake
use
of what
the
ifing.
patron to plop down a commercial hub at a quarter cost, and then still have half off on or
Oh, I mean, if you're going to build the campus early, you're going to build the campus early. You're not going to put production into a commercial hub and then go and build your Sarah one. You're just gonna build that
Actually,
one
that's
once you
exactly
build
what
the
you're
thing.
supposed to do with City Patron Goddess.
Oh, with city, but with the sale one, I think you're gonna want to build it first because you get 4 science right away, and then you get
It's just it gives so much science, and if you build one early, like how Russia will make a Lavra super early for just the sake of getting a writer for the culture, and with the Seowa, it's going to be very similar, if not identical, in terms of turns taken to build it. I would assume, and you could just go off the rails with it in terms of early power because just building a monument in your capital right away. That shaves 1 turn, 2 turns off of most civics in the early game up to the first government selection. And with the Seoa, that's 4 science. That's going to shave a lot of turns off of your early game science techs. And that's going to set the pace for the remainder of the game for you, and you're going to be miles ahead of people because of it.
Yeah, I think you're probably gonna end up going with archers and maybe a couple swordsmen to defend your city, and then all
We
of a
ever
sudden,
figure out do they get the bonuses, the adjacency, like when you double it, the 100% card and the 50% card?
Yeah,
is that gonna
they do.
apply to that?
That's why it was nerfed.
they do.
Yeah, it's considered an adjacency bonus.
Plus 5, or they nerfed it from 5 to 4.
they nerfed
They
it from
nerfed it from 6 to 4. So you're gonna be getting +8, +16 science in 2 cities, right? +8, +8.
Brazil does that.
Not that early, not that quickly.
I mean, the campus adjacency card is not that early.
Yeah, but if you get 2 campuses, you can get the boost pretty quickly. Even though, I mean, maybe it'll take you to turn, 40 maybe? 42, 43, somewhere around there. It's still going to be pretty good. Like you could have crossbows when people are trying to like horseman rush you. You just upgrade one crossbow and you're good. I think it'll be crazy.
We have a little bit of details on the alliances from the last stream that we'll go over. They, of course, with the way they stream, they don't show you everything. So we still don't know what a lot of the level 3 bonuses are for all the civs. For all the different alliances, I should say. Oh, here's one good thing that I got my question answered today about the stream. On a team game, alliances do not affect loyalty. So if I'm on alliance with my teammates here, like we're not gonna be flipping cities back and forth between the two
That'd
of
be
us.
hilarious if you flipped your teammate's city by accident.
It would be ridiculously stupid. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
glad
think it'd be
that
great.
it would be the trolliest troll ever on a team game. Anyway, so you're not going to be able to flip your ally cities, which is awesome. Anyway, so you have, again, 5 types of alliances. You have research, economic, culture, military, and religious. I'm not going to go over the level 1s because we already went over that before. Level 2 research alliance, you obviously get all of the level 1 bonuses, plus every 20 turns on standard, you unlock a Eureka for a tech that you and your ally do not have researched yet. So on online speed, every 10 turns you're getting an extra Eureka.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. We do not know what the level 3 research is yet. Economic, you get all of the level 1s for, obviously. And then for level 2, you get bonus envoy points for every city-state that is controlled by your ally. So if your ally controls a city-state, you get bonus envoys, probably based on what your ally has, I guess. Level 3 economic, you share suzerain unique bonuses with your ally.
That's big.
Yeah, that's huge. You have suzerain of, say, a commercial city-state.
Stockholm.
Yeah.
Stockholm, Zanzibar. I mean, you've got extra amenities. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's great. One unique thing about culture alliances here is that a culture alliance does not affect loyalty. So if you're in a culture alliance with your neighbor, cities will not flip. So if you're in like an FFA game and you make a culture alliance with somebody, you just know you're not going to be flipping cities. So it could be part of a strategy where you use, or something you don't want to do if you want to actual flip cities. But anyway, level 2 offers +3 culture from trade routes to your ally, +1 culture from trade routes from your ally. So that's pretty cool. Oh, again, level 1 culture alliances, loyalty pressure is not affected by your ally. Level 3 culture, each of your districts grants an additional great person point per turn if you have a trade route from that city to your ally. You gain 20% of your allies' tourism from cities. You gain 10% of your allies' culture from cities. So that's huge.
It's gonna be a game changer for sure. Seeing how players, whether it's in free for alls, team games, as you can see, my daughter is even more excited than I am. I love my children so much. I can't wait for that soundproof studio. But but these alliances, you can only pick one, right? You can't maintain all 3 with someone. You
Well,
can.
no, you could have you could only have one research alliance with somebody, but that's not stopping you from having one research with somebody, one economic with somebody else, one culture with
Well,
somebody else.
let's say you and I are playing a game, and I have a research alliance with you. I can't make a cultural alliance with you too, because we
No.
have the research alliance.
It's only one at a time, but as long as you don't have, like say the two of us have a research alliance together, and we want to switch it to an economic. As long as either one of us don't have an economic alliance with somebody else, we can switch. So you can switch at
Okay.
any time.
Okay, so you can't have a research alliance with one person and then also have a research alliance with the second person.
Correct. But you can have multiple alliances of different types.
Okay.
So,
So you can
say
have research with
So-
one, economic with another.
so if
culture.
I'm playing a 5-man team game, like I have a research player 2, I'm player 1. I have a researcher player 2, and I'm an economic player 3, a cultural player 4, and a military player 5. So you don't need to do a religious one if you don't want to. If you're doing a 6v6, if that's even possible,
My brain's gonna hurt.
Error joining multiplayer session.
yeah.
So before teamers now just are basically a hard-coded alliance. In Rise and Fall, you have to you're a team to start with, but you get to declare specialty alliances. Blade, is that it?
Yes, you'll be able to
I
choose.
think
Is
that's
this
really
is this
cool.
right off the bat?
That
turn
I
one?
do not know. I don't know if you have to wait towards
Better get that civil service.
I don't know. You have to wait till civil service because you don't have to on a regular team game currently. So if you could pick all this stuff in, say, like turn 0 when you start the
Well,
game.
I'm not gonna want to though. I mean, I'm gonna want to find out where my enemies are and then have a military alliance.
I mean, you start it now
wait,
at
never
turn
mind.
1,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
you
You're right.
build
Never mind.
up your alliances to level 3s.
No, because you're always like in a 5-man team. You're always gonna have one of all of them, right?
Right.
Except maybe religious.
Yeah. So you have military, culture, economic, and
The
research.
point is you don't want these to start at turn 0 because you want to see who has the good land and the safety to be the science player, because that's the person you're going to want that research alliance with.
Everybody is going to have a research alliance on a 5-man game. So I'm going to have research, economic, culture, and military with my entire team. The entire team is going to have all of those with everybody.
The point is the one that you want to capitalize the most on because of your situation versus theirs. You want to be able to pick which players are going to have that alliance, and you're not going to be able to readily switch in a full 5v5. Because
everybody is going to have all of them.
you do realize you get bonuses based on trading with these people too, right?
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. You may not be able to trade with player X, Y, or Z because you're only close to player W. You want to be able to pick that accordingly for what you need to focus on that you're lacking. Like if I have no mountains, I want to...
5v5, you could plop in a religious one and then switch to the other one.
Well, I mean, unless they fix the spawning for teams, you're not always going to be next to your teammates, right?
Oh, I hope they fix that. That is so
You'll
annoying.
just be next to like one person, and so you're going to want the economic alliance with them so you can get your gold up, or you want the research one to get your science up. Because I think military is not going to matter, because you're going to get that with everybody, and everybody's going to be at war with each other, and you're going to get +5 no matter what.
I mean, the point is you want to take advantage of the trader outside of the alliances too. And in order to really get what you want out of it, you're going to have to be able to trade with the person of the target alliance that you need, rather than switching them out all the time. Because that's just going to be a pain in the butt.
Something you're going to have to get used to. I'm definitely looking forward to these. Okay, so anyway, military level 2 alliance. You have +5. I'm going to go over all of these military ones. For level 1, You have a +5 combat strength against players you and your ally are warring. So again, team game, you're at war with everybody on the other team. Level 2, +5 combat strength against players at war with you and your ally, which is what I just said. Plus 15% production towards military units when you and your ally are at war. And then level 3, units start with a promotion.
Okay,
Don't
so level
know if
2,
that's what
are you saying it's an additional +5, or is that the level 1 bonus that you originally were talking about?
I think that's just included on the level 1.
Okay.
So now when units start with a promotion, is that new units trained automatically start with a promotion, or do you get the Terracotta Army promotion as soon as you get to level 3? That's something. I'm thinking it's
So
new units.
Macedon with a level 3. Military Alliance have double promoted Heteroi out the bat. Like, we're coming out the gate. That is terrifying.
Yep. But I mean, it's a level 3. It's going to take you quite a few turns to get to level 2, and then more turns to get to level 3. So you'll probably see that, like, in our games, probably going to, like, medieval era is probably the first time you're going to get a level 3, but who knows? I don't know exactly how many points it is per turn to actually level up. And then finally, for religion, level 1, your ally cities do not exert religious pressure on your cities and vice versa. So if I have a religion and my partner has a religion, our cities will not exert pressure towards one another, which is cool. You're not going to accidentally screw over your partner by converting their city on with pressure. Level 2, you get +3 faith from trade routes to your ally and 1 faith per turn from trade routes from your ally. Level 3, you get +10 religious combat strength against non-ally religions. Sort of,
We'll
I guess,
hopefully,
but
we'll hopefully see some more religious use. I think that's going to be really good for team games on islands with like Indonesia. Although that might make Indonesia way over the top broken.
So in a like 2v2, are you always going to want the militaristic alliance? Is that
I
like
mean, it is a free general, and
They had
in level 2,
promotion. I mean,
it's promotion.
so? But I think one thing you need to take note is at level 1 it says shared visibility. Does that mean all the other alliances aren't going to give you shared visibility?
No, because you have the level 1 stacked with level 2 and level 3.
No, but I'm
So if
saying
you have a level
if
3,
in
you
in a
have
2v2 game, you only can get one alliance, right?
at a time, yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't get the militaristic alliance, does that mean you can't see your other player's visibility?
Team,
Your other teammate?
the team-based visibility may not be a thing anymore because they've changed all the alliances.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
like teams don't get you anything but being coded teams until you choose your alliance type.
And military alliance is the only one that shares vision.
This has definitely changed teamers.
teamers. It might get shared visibility for everybody. But I mean, in an FFA game setting, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be military shared vision. Or
Yes,
it could apply to everything. I don't know. I don't know why just military says that.
it's definitely something we're gonna have to test out right away on release of how alliances work in teamers.
Yep.
But it just goes to show that there's, we've been shown so much, but in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot being kept close to the vest, so to speak. And the first week or even the first month, people are going to be discovering new mechanics, new functionalities, new ways to exploit certain changes, and the Reddit's going to be going crazy, blowing stuff up. Civ Fanatic forums are going to be overrun with new posts. And there's going to be plenty of YouTube videos and Twitch streams out there for anyone looking for that. So the information will be there, and I just highly encourage you to grab the game and test it yourself. I mean, get yourself out there and enjoy the Civ world once again, because improvements are coming to the game on both the single player and multiplayer aspects, and you're missing out.
Yeah, and we are definitely trying to encourage that in Civ players by taking a week off reports and taking a week off of Civ bans, and hopefully the players will give us direct and quick feedback on all this new stuff.
Oh my God, Cynthia's still OP. I bet we'll hear that.
Probably. But I mean,
Another interesting thing that they tweaked here that I forgot to mention is tech boosts. Tech boosts have now been nerfed to only 40%.
Is it still 60% for China?
That I do not have any confirmation on. I don't know
Hope
if
so.
it dropped to 50 or if it's still 60%.
You know, whenever I play, I don't play China very often, but whenever I play them and I, work 3 tiles and then realize I still have 1 charge left, it's always like a little happy surprise for me. I'm like, oh, I got another charge.
so ooh, a piece of candy.
Exactly.
Then you build the pyramids and you get the serfdom card, and,
Oh,
and you're like, I don't know what to do with my builders anymore.
And now you get the surveyor, and now it's +1 again. So your charges will be what, 8?
Oh my God.
You need more builders.
That's too much.
It's kind of like finding that $20 bill in the pants that you forgot about a month ago.
Right? Clean out the car, find a roll of quarters. Like, whoa! But this has definitely been an exciting time with all the dev streams and the first looks, and we've definitely gotten some happy surprises along the way, and we've yet to see what's going to go on with the Zulu fully just yet. We've seen the district, but we don't know what the unique unit is. And that's going to bring us to our little round table thing here that we do at the end of all the streams every week. And and for this question for everyone going around is going to be, what unique unit and do you think the Zulu are going to get? Well, you can be any unit type or class. It can be one from past games. What do you think it will be? What are you hoping for? And we're going to start with Canuck.
Well, I'm hoping that they go back to this variant of the Civ 3 version, which was a fast-moving spear. I mean, they use the impy term for it, like they have in many games, but back in Civ 3, it was basically a fast-moving spear that you could hunt down and kill horses with. So I'm hoping that in Civ 6 they play on that theme and come up with a decent anti-horse rush impy.
Okay. What do you think, Blade?
I mean, I have nothing other than the impy. I mean, the impy as a unique pikeman, I thought was a pretty good unit for Civ 5. Hopefully it's something like that. I really wish anti-cav had zone of control on calves. Like I don't care if it's just light cav and heavies can go around it, or if it's both of them. But I really wish anti-cavs had zone of control, because most of them have two movement, and the horses are like, oh look, there's a line of spears or a line of pikes. I'm just gonna like mosey on around to the backside and just forget you. And so what Canuck was saying, hopefully the MP has like maybe a +3 movement, which would be pretty cool.
That would be cool, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Yoshi?
I kind of want to go along that same line. Maybe something to replace the pikeman. Because do we have a pikeman replacement UU yet? I don't think
we don't. It would be the first in Civ 6 if they do.
Yeah. I would like to see that. Maybe you'll see people actually. Well, I mean, I do think people will actually get pikemen in this upcoming expansion, but it'd be cool to see a unique unit in that era.
If anything, just the pre-build pike and shots.
Isn't the only spear replacement unit we have the Hoplite in the game right now?
That's right.
Yeah, so we only got one.
So
But
what
we
about
gotta have a
you,
second one.
Louis? Louis, what are you hoping to see for the Zulu?
See a super spearman. It would negate the horseman thing does.
Okay, so we're all pretty much agreed on the Impy here. I'd actually like to see the more aggressive variant from the Civ 3 days, and it was a unique unit that belonged to the Mayans actually, and it was the javelin thrower. But it could be incorporated for the Zulu as well, because the Impy's been done so much that it's either do or die with the Impy, but I'd like to see a more aggressive spearmen, because the Aztec are the only ones that have the so-called enslavement, where the Eagle Warrior can enslave enemy units it kills and make them workers. But the Zulu had done that in the past as well, and they could really take a loan, I guess, from the Mayans in Civ 3 with the Javelin Thrower and have that replace the Spearman. And it could also enslave units it kills too. But we definitely need a zone of control against cavalry units from the anti-cav class. That definitely needs to happen.
Or more movement. If all anti-cavs got like 3 movement or zone of control.
Nah, it'd have to be the zone of control. Giving the extra movement won't matter when you're trying to chase something with 5 movement. But that is that's gonna wrap things up here for this week. Big thanks for everyone for coming on out and watching the stream and the podcast once again, as we are finally back. We had an amazing weekend last weekend with the CCC. Congratulations once again to Sunzi for winning.
Thank you.
And a big thanks to all of our guests, Canuck Soldier, Blade 7, and Yoshi. And a big thanks to my co-host King Louie for coming here and always being here for me.
We're happy. Love doing the podcast.
Yeah, thanks to everyone.
Hopefully we see you guys next week. Gonna officially go over the Zulus.
Oh, for sure. We're going to be doing a special podcast actually next Friday, where we're going to be looking at a first week, so to speak, even though it'd only be out for a couple of days. But it would definitely give some good insight to all of you who are still on the fence about picking up the expansion. And be sure to stop by all the various streams, because tons of people are going to be playing the new expansion. So make sure you stop by the streamers and check them out. See if it's something you'll enjoy or not. Once again, a huge thanks to all of our viewers, whether you're watching us now or on your mobile devices throughout the weeks. Big thanks, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time.